So hi guys, welcome to another video of Calculus 1. This time we're gonna do limit problems part 2. So what we're gonna do first is find out if a limit exists or not. This part is very crucial to understand, as not every limit exists, as you can guess. So I'll put a reminder: a limit exists if if only and only if when x approach a from the left, from the right, is equal to limit approach from the left. This is when my limit exists. So let's use that part to evaluate some limit to see if my limit exists or not. So the first question I'm gonna ask is limit as x approach 3 2x plus x minus 3 in absolute, and we close the parenthesis. So what I'm saying is here, if I want to find the limit as x approach from the right, and I want to find my limit when x approach from the left. So let's start first by finding the function when x approach 3 from the right. So first of all, I'm going to write f of x equal to, and then I'm going to start the first part. You see, this absolute function, my absolute function is always positive. Inside my absolute function is always positive. Uh, Only if my x is bigger than 3, right? So what I'm gonna do is open my absolute function to be positive. So it's gonna be 2x plus x minus 3, and this is if x is bigger or equal to 3. I'll just put a reminder for you guys. This is a case because let's take let's take a random one. So let's take 7 here. In your question that you did in high school, normally if you want to find x, you got like two parts to go. You got where your 7 is positive, and the other part you get if 7 is negative, right? So what we are doing right here is putting what we're gonna do is putting my negative number to the other part. It's gonna be minus x plus 3 equal to 7, and here we get the same thing, right? This is the same function when it's equal to 7. So what we're gonna do is do the same thing when x is smaller than 3. All right. When x is smaller than 3, I'm gonna put a negative number, right? As my example is saying right here, this is gonna become negative. So here is gonna be minus. This is gonna be actually 2 minus x plus 3. Right. I hope you guys are following me. Rewatch videos on absolute functions if you need to, but right now this is the video about limits. I'm not going too much into absolute function. So the final thing how it will look is gonna be 3x minus 3 x if x is equal or bigger than 3, and here's gonna be x plus 3 if x is smaller than 3. So if x is approaching 3 from the right, I'm gonna graph this again. This is my y, this is my x. If this is approaching from the right, excuse me, all of my all of my, let's just put 3 here. If x is approaching from the right, all of my number is going to be greater than 3. And if x is approaching from the left, all of my x is going to be smaller than 3. I hope you know where this is going. So what I'm going to do when my x is bigger than 3, my function is 3x minus 3. And if x is smaller than if x is smaller than 3, my x is approaching from the left, so it's going to be x plus 3. All right. So now that we have both of our function in my limit, we'll evaluate it. So this is going to give me 6. This is going to give me 6. And my limit do exist. My limit exists. Okay. All right. So this is the first question. Now let's do another one. Limit as x approach minus 6 to x plus 12, then x plus 6 in absolute. So as we did before, we're going to divide it in 2 parts. The first part is when my x plus 6 is going to be positive. And when my x plus 6 is positive is when if x is bigger or equal to 6. Bigger or equal to minus 6, excuse me. And in my denominator, this is going to be equal minus x minus 6 if x is smaller or equal to minus 6. If it's smaller than minus 6. Right. All right. So I got this is from when my x is approaching minus 6 from the right, and this is when x approaching minus 6 from the left. So let's start this. So x approach minus 6 from the right is going to give me 2x plus 12, x plus 6. Let's factorize my numerator. I should get 2x plus 6 divided by x plus 6. Cancel out x plus 6, I get 2. Now let's do x approach minus 6 from the left, I mean 2x plus 12 minus x minus 6. I factorize my denominator and my numerator. In my denominator, I'm going to factorize my negative sign. And in my numerator, I'm going to factorize my 2, just like I did for the other question. So I'm just cancel out x plus 6, cancel out x plus 6. My limit is going to equal to minus 2. And here, my limit do not exist. Alright, so this is how you find out if a limit exists or not. Now let's do a final question about limit, if it exists or not. Oops. Alright, so the question is limit as x approach minus 0, x minus x in absolute. And thus this is just like all of the other. So let's divide it into 2 parts. F of x equal to, well, if my x is bigger than 0, equal or bigger than 0, my absolute function is going to be positive. So when 1 over x minus 1 over x is going to give us 0. However, if my x is smaller than 0, we are going to have 1 over x minus 1 over minus x, which gives us 2 over x. So this is our function. If I'm going too fast for you guys, you can slow down the video, you can watch it again. Or even better, ask me a question in the comment down below. Do not hesitate for that. Well, here my question is asking if my x is approaching from the right, from the left, I mean. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna write it here. If my limit is approaching from the left, I'm gonna have 2x, right? So if I have 2x, if I plug in if I just plug in 2 over 0 from the left, I'm gonna get minus infinity. While some of you may question, why is it minus infinity and not plus infinity? Well, the thing is, just imagine as x is approaching 0, this is x approaching 0, it's going towards in minus infinity downward for my f of x. It's approaching 0. Okay, it's not touching 0, it's approaching 0. Okay, this is so where my this is when my limit is approaching from the left. Okay, x is getting close to 0. For example, let's do minus 0.01. We're gonna get a 0 number, right? So we're gonna get something like 2 over minus 0.01. I'm gonna get minus 200. And if I keep getting closer to 0, I'm gonna get minus 2000. And if I keep going, I'm gonna get minus 20,000. No, just gonna put one more 0. So you guys can see where this is going. Okay, the closer it goes, the bigger, the more it's gonna approach minus infinity. All right, so this is when my limit approach. Well, this is when my limit approach 0 from the left. This is my answer. And let's do if my limit approach from the right, and what we're gonna get is 0, and nothing changed. It's gonna be 0, so my limit does not exist. All right, this is how you find if the limit exists or not. Obviously, you're gonna have more complicated question, like sometimes you're gonna get 3-part question in your exam. Like get one function here, another function, another function here. This video is just showing you guys the concept of finding limit exists or not. All right, so have a good day and enjoy.